Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here, and it is 8:30 a.m. EST, and we begin talking about the markets right now. All right, so look, here's the thing. Everything is bearish. Just what it is. We're in the middle of some pretty big changes of the plumbing of our system. So if you are somebody who does not have control of your financial future, if you are somebody who does not know how to trade, or at least somebody who is not paying attention to their investments, you are in pain right now. I am giving away a free algo. Go to the link in the description right there. See that? See that right there? That note right there? Right there? Yeah. Click in the description, copy the algo or the copy the link or click the link. Give me your email. First name can be fake. I don't care. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a free algo right away. You click on that, put in your info. Next page is going to be a free algo. I'll also email it to you. And then what I can do is just send you a weekly update on what's going on with the markets. And you can start to learn how to take control of your financial future. And we're going to talk about how I might do that right now. As a matter of fact, I'm in the middle of a trade. I did a scalp shorting the USD JPY. We're going to get into that first, actually. I know everybody wants to see Bitcoin, but check this out, everybody. Now, I, on Sunday, said the market would do this. It did peak up a little bit. There was a little push up on Monday because and I'll explain what happened. There's a bit of what I think was manipulation. They wanted to get some people in. The USD JPY is going to move like the stock market. And so is crypto, for that matter, in these circumstances. So when the stock market goes down, Bitcoin goes down. As you can see here, USD JPY goes down, as you can see here. And look at the NASDAQ. It's all going down. Now, the NASDAQ wanted to go down. I predicted that it would move down much more quickly than it has, but you see it was pushed upwards. And some of my contemporaries, professional traders, they do it every single day, and their NASDAQ is their bread and butter. We're saying that this was pure manipulation up to a VWAP. A VWAP is a volume-weighted average price. So if you have like these large players, they need to get in and out around a VWAP, because getting in and out of a trade for somebody who has a lot of money is not that easy. If there's not enough players, you cannot get a large position. And the way to get a large position is to push price towards the volume weighted average price, because that's where everybody's getting in and out. So they're VWAPing in, VWAPing out. And the VWAP at that time was right here at 18.2. Now, before this happened, I did tell everybody on Monday night especially, and also on Monday morning and just a lot of different Tuesday morning, a lot of different places, the price might do a double top on the NASDAQ right here. And it's exactly what it did. Hit right here, attempted to hit it again, and that 18.2, it broke down. I also thought it might head up to 19,000. I did have a possibility of price going up to grab more liquidity up here, but things were so bearish, all I could do was go up to this 18.2, and my contemporary who trades NASDAQ all day said that's where the VWAP was. I mean, I could put it on the chart, but I don't use the VWAP per se. Maybe I should. So we have NASDAQ heading down. We got Bitcoin following suit, and Bitcoin is even more bearish than the NASDAQ. In fact, I've been watching real closely. Even this morning, there was a snap down on Bitcoin, and it happened before the NASDAQ, right? So let's zoom in here to the 30-minute time frame. You see this little snap down right there? That happened before the NASDAQ. So I'm going to go on the 5-minute chart, the pretty low time frame, your day trading time frame here, the 5-minute. And if I overlay the NASDAQ on top of it, I believe this was a few minutes before. I might have to jump down to the 1-minute, but the last week or so, Bitcoin has preceded the NASDAQ, which is fun. It's kind of like a predictor. No, in this case, at least on this particular NQ, the NASDAQ appeared to go first or at the same time. Okay, so now I was watching it, and I could have sworn it happened first. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, I could have sworn it happened first, but let me see if I can manipulate this to show me some better. So let's go to bars, candles, actually. No, it's like right at the same time. Okay, well, I will tell you that like yesterday, that was not the case. Yesterday, the Bitcoin moved first in a big way, and especially just a little. Well, actually, I can't show you too much. I don't want to show too much here. I'm not going to share that much. I'm just going to leave it there. There's just a way to do it at a certain time where Bitcoin is extremely useful predicting where the NASDAQ is going to go. But right now, things are bearish. Everything's heading down, and it's going to continue to do so. Let's take a look quickly if I can bring up the right chart here. Is this the one? Yeah, here it is. Check out this JPY trade. Now, this is a scalp. I tend not to share the scalps because it's too hard for people to follow. But look at this beautiful scalp. I am already probably 150% profit. Now, this is a 3.71 to 1 risk reward ratio. And what that means is that if I put in $1,000, then I pull out $3,700. If I put in $100, I pull out $371. And if I live somewhere like India or something and I put in $10, I pull out 37. So yeah, this is heading down, and this heads down with the stock market. And the reason that this heads down with the stock market is that I hate when it does this, is that when you look at the pair USD JPY, right? That's the pair. Well, JPY is on the second end of that, right? So this is all measured in terms of the Japanese yen. So as the Japanese yen gets stronger, the USD in comparison gets weaker, right? Now, what needs to be understood here is that the Japanese yen is where money tends to go under normal circumstances when the stock market goes down. So if I see that the stock market is going down, then I'm going to short JPY pairs, because when the JPY gets stronger, this chart goes down for this reason, okay? So beautiful short, still in it, and see no reason to get out at this time. I may at some point go ahead and move my stops or something, but this short got a little. I mean, I'm just telling you right now, the markets look like they're going to continue to fall unless something big happens. So let's talk about what something big might be. We have FOMC minutes today. That is at 2 p.m. EST. Now, if FOMC minutes come back very dovish, that could stabilize the markets a bit. We're at a point in time where markets are getting into panic mode. And in a way, I think that's what they want. But too much of that could be a bad thing. So I think whoever's running the show, Trump and his people, if you will, I think they may want to temper this, the bearishness a little bit. Now, if you were to look at it at the surface, it looks like Powell is running independent of the president and of the politics. Powell will tell you, hey, the Fed's going to do what the Fed's going to do. But in reality, given where the markets are, there's going to be increasing pressure on Powell to drop the rates, to put more money into the market, to save the market, right? Well, he can't do that until there's data, and data comes a month after the fact. So it's going to be very difficult for Powell to justify like a rate cut next month unless the data is very very bearish. If CPI comes out cool, because when the stock market falls, that's a deflationary event, which goes against inflation, right? Everybody talks about how the tariffs are going to cause inflation. All we're seeing here is deflation right now. Everything's going down. And that's because tariffs and the resulting price increases on goods take time to take effect. So that's in part what's going on. And as things inflate, other things will inflate. But in the meantime, this is a much more complex picture than the news would have you believe, right? Oh, the tariffs are going to cause everything to go up. Oh, really? Because it looks like it's going down. Look at every business in here. If I were to look up like a stock company for, an equities company for steel production, guarantee you that sucker's going down. Let me look. Let's see if I can do that. Steel. Let me see here. I'm going to look on another screen. We're going to see what the steel companies are doing. Now, another thing to look at, though, before we get into that, is the 2 and the 10-year yield. I was just talking about this on another conversation. Steel company tickers, US. What are some tickers? So the 2 and 10-year yield is an indicator of recession. And what that means is that when the 2-year bond yield surpasses the 10-year bond yield, when those yield it's when they're inverted, right? When more money is going towards the short bond because people don't trust the system, that is an indication of recession coming. When the 10-year bond starts to see more investment, that means that people are trusting the long term, right? You have to understand the 2 and 10-year curve was inverted for quite some time. And so now it's not inverted anymore, just in the past few days. And that's an indication that recession may not come. And I know it's very, very much the opposite of what we're seeing in the stock market. If the stock market continued down like it was, then we should be expecting a recession. And quite frankly, I am kind of expecting one. But the 2 and the 10-year yield de-inverting are giving us the clue that either there won't be a recession or that it might be relatively short-lived, because these things do have a very lagging effect. So, some things to kind of pay attention to, hold on to. So let's look at X, which is US Steel. Let's see how X is doing. US Steel, that's on the 5-minute chart. So let me back out and look on a higher time frame. How's US Steel doing? Wow, looking pretty good. Interesting. Not seeing a deflationary event here, but that makes sense. If you're going to have tariffs, we're going to have to produce goods here. All right, good. So then the inflationary effect is going to actually be seen here, at least with some commodities like steel. Really, I think iron ore might be the commodity. I don't know how they trade that. Let's look at Nucor, NUE. Okay, Nucor is headed down, but US Steel is headed up, so that's good. Either it's being supported, or we're seeing some of the effects here for the tariffs, which I think it's a little too soon. Let's look at STLD, Steel Dynamics. Okay, that's headed down. So except for US Steel, looks like the steel companies are seeing all bearish action. So for whatever reason, US Steel is doing better. Maybe it's just being supported because it's like too big to fail. I don't know. Resilience Inc. is another steel company. Oh yeah, so every single steel company except for US Steel is seeing lower numbers. So not seeing a lot of inflation in the steel sector with the exception of US Steel, and it's not inflating, it's just kind of holding steady. US Steel is just holding steady. It's not inflating. So everybody that says, oh, tariffs are going to cause inflation, well, guess what? We're seeing deflation now, and that's all we're seeing. So look, here's the deal. Markets take time. And whatever's going on with the tariffs, that can take time. We have a couple things to look at this week, and the things that we're looking at are going to be, number one is FOMC minutes today. If that's very dovish, then we'll probably end up seeing some pretty, like maybe a spike up or maybe just a decrease in the bearishness, right? What's Bitcoin going to do? Right now, if nothing changed, if we had no surprises, I expect Bitcoin over the next, like maybe through May, to head down to about 57,000, or it might not make it all the way down there. It might not make it to 57. It might get stuck at 68. I do think we're going to see a slowdown in the dip at some point, probably around 68. Doesn't mean it's over, but this is what I've drawn here is kind of what I expect. And right now, it looks like it's not going to be this. It's probably not going to be that. It's probably going to be just go straight down. But again, we have FOMC today. We have CPI Thursday. That's a big one. If the CPI comes out very like cool print, meaning like not a lot of inflation, maybe even some disinflation or deflation. If the data comes out hyper cool, the markets should stabilize or at least stop going down so hard. And then PPI the next day, which is very similar to the CPI. But as it stands right now, the market is falling with no end in sight. Just letting you know. And Bitcoin's going to follow along with that short term. Now, if you go back 10 years, Bitcoin outperforms the rest of the market in a huge way. But just on the near term, like, if you're looking at week by week without looking at the cycles, then you're always going to see Bitcoin following the market, right? But then, of course, Bitcoin's going to have this massive, massive move where it just eclipses almost everything. And then once it's done with that massive move, then that's where you're going to, see where it'll start to follow the market again. And it's NASDAQ. I'd have eyes on NASDAQ for that. So, all right, good. Well, this has been kind of a broader look at things. I know I didn't go over things too much, but yeah, let me mute that. Give me 1 second. So that being the case, just either learn how to short, get your free algo, right? Get the free algo. It's right there. Get it. Free algo. Click in there. I'll send you market updates. If you want to learn how to take advantage of the moves down, like I just showed you with the Japanese yen trade, if you want to learn how to do that, like that's what we do at Algo Factory. I teach how to do that. Very good at doing it. As you can see with the result from this morning with the trade that I showed you, killing it on this trade. Let me put it back on the screen. Just murdering it on this trade. And that's, this is how you make money. Like and you can short stocks. You don't have to short Forex pairs. You can short stocks. You can short Bitcoin if you're, have the right setup. So money is always there to be made in markets, whether they're going up, whether they're going down. AlgoFactory.tech. Come on in. We will teach you how to trade like a hedge fund pro. Hope to see you there. We'll also see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8:30 a.m. EST. In the meantime, do not forget.
Join us or die.
Just kidding. Do not die. You will not die. It'll be great. Alan Rickman's just messing with you. Much love. I'll catch you on the flip side.